Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to more Kingdom Hearts 3 action as we reunite with our friends. Yeah, let's do that, Goofy! But, yeah, all this is really pretty much telling us is that now that we've reunited with Flynn, Rapunzel, and Maximus, I think is the horse's name? I get it confused between this horse and the Pegasus horse who's from the Hercules dimension. Whatever, it's a bit strange, but, Aqueist, movie dynamic of the horse that chased Flynn out of the castle and then continued to do his thing as a horse of justice? Yeah, whatever, I don't know many other characters of this movie, so, yeah, whatever, we'll just assume that the horse chased him out of the palace, because it's funny it that way. I like it that way. But in any case, though, yeah, I suppose with lack of anything else to really say, more Rapunzel development history in lieu of flow motion. So yeah, you might remember in the last part that this was initially meant to be a 2D animated tale in the style of 40s and 50s era Disney movies with a few darker elements. Yeah, well, I mean, around about the time that Shrek was released and, you know, was doing its rounds, and I want to stress that this was before Shrek became a meme-tastic internet meme lord, come ogre here shadow sort of character, but more in the sense that it was a, you know, comedic deconstruction of traditional fairy tales. Yeah, basically Disney took one look at that and said, copy this. So basically it ended up changing its tone with Rapunzel and the prince being turned into Squirrel and a dog, and then having two people from modern day Earth then transported into the past to basically replace them. Which sounds like a very massive fucky plot that I guess was meant to poke fun at traditional, like, oh Julius, oh Jamie, please come and rescue me from the tower, or whatever else, and going, modern women don't do that kind of shit. Wink wink and a nudge nudge, with a fudge fudge and the whatever. Oh yeah, anyway, you use Rapunzel's hair as a swing shot here. Aqueist. In any case, though, that didn't really seem to stick too well, so they basically kind of had a bit of a back and forth, and, well, eventually it led to the tangle that we know today, where they went back towards a more traditional-ish sort of plot kind of thing, just sort of what we have now, really. But yeah, the only other real thing of note to bring up in terms of, you know, the development of Tangled, I mean, apart from having its name changed, yeah, I mean, I did bring up beforehand about the whole hair rendering issue, you know, why animating it in 2D would have been preferable, but Disney would only greenlight this project if it was a 3D film, which I do have to wonder, though, was it because of the success of a lot of DreamWorks projects that pushed Disney to making it towards 3D, or was it more to do with the fact that they desperately wanted Pixar under their employ? Because, I mean, bear in mind, there was actually a time before Disney full-on owned Pixar. I mean, they only ever really worked with them a couple of times, which does actually kind of get into a bit of Toy Story 3 development history, but yeah, there was a case where, you know, Disney didn't own Pixar, and I guess they saw 3D animation as sort of the future of film, whether or not it was cheaper to animate like that, or I guess people didn't really take 2D animated cartoons seriously in terms of, like, cinematic releases. I'm not really too sure. I don't know, I mean, it is quite strange, but I guess that's an argument for another day, but either way, yeah, Tangled eventually became the 3D film that we know it as today, and, yeah, Disney ended up pretty much saying goodbye to, you know, well, I mean, they already said goodbye to traditional cell animation with Home on the Range, and, yeah, they pretty much said goodbye to 2D animation entirely with The Princess and the Frog, I believe. It is a bit of a shame, though, because, I mean, I do think that 2D animation does have a bit of an artistry, but, well, I mean, rather fittingly, I mean, unless, of course, you're, like, Disney or whatever, I guess a lot of people don't really take it as seriously, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, which is quite funny, actually, because, I mean, I do remember, like, you know, you used to see all sorts of films, you know, 2D animation back during the 2000s era. I mean, not even just specifically, like, cartoons or whatever, like, I mean, again, even though I wasn't really into the franchise back then, I do remember, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Pyramid of Light being a cinematic release, as well as, you know, Digimon and stuff like that, so, you know, I mean, there was an audience for it, but I guess maybe the middling quality of stuff like that maybe just turned people away from it. Yeah, I'm not really too sure, but either way, yeah, it was a different time, and yeah, it does kind of make me wonder whether or not, like, a lot of the Disney animators even now would either don't have the training or would just lose out on, you know, animating stuff in the traditional kind of way, really. Again, I think I already brought that up, you know, in Kingdom Hearts commentaries part, so I won't go over, you know, extra redundancies, but yeah, it's a bit of an odd dock, really. In any case, though, here you can, well, again, in this little mineshaft area, you can actually find a few hidden synthesis materials and, yeah, murder enemies to your heart's content, so fun, fun, fun. And, again, if you're thinking that this is going to go on as, more of a trek towards the Kingdom of Beer, well, don't worry, we are going to reach the titular city of beverages by the time we get to the end of this part, and, then in the next part, we'll get to seeing this, Kingdom of Beer good and proper, so don't worry, we are going to be seeing some new vistas. It's, you know, just been a lengthy trek to get there. In the meantime, however, as we continue to do more violence, yeah, there's a bit of voice actress trivia to do with Rapunzel's voice actress. Now, in the original movie, she was voiced by Mandy Moore. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because Mandy Moore was actually also the voice of Aerith in Kingdom Hearts 1. And she doesn't reprise her role as either, you know, Rapunzel or Aerith in Kingdom Hearts 3, despite the fact that both characters appear in it. Why this is, I have no idea, because, I mean, Disney is usually pretty good at getting the, you know, main stars back to voice them, so I don't know, I can only guess that Mandy Moore was either busy with other projects at the time, or I really don't know. I mean, again, it's not like she's a stranger to Kingdom Hearts, because, I mean, she did voice Aerith back in, like, the very first game, so yeah. I don't know, kind of strange that they didn't get her back, because I mean, again, it would have been a nice 2-for-1 deal. You know, you could have had her voice Aerith in the Remind DLC and get her to voice Rapunzel here. I mean, I don't think it would have been a case of, like, Hayden Panettiere, where it's like, you know, it's either she wasn't informed or, like, she outgrew the role financially, but yeah, so I don't really know. Like, I mean, it's kind of weird. Is it a case of, like, some Disney actors are, like, on call to reprise their roles for certain projects, or others aren't really? I mean, provided whether or not the actor's still alive, or I guess maybe how technically famous they are? I don't know, they're usually pretty good at getting them back, even certain other voice actresses who were, you know, were famously killed off because of some legal fuckery in a certain Assassin's Creed game. Oh, but I'm more than willing to appear in Kingdom Hearts 3 for whatever. We'll get to that bit of trivia when we get to it, but needless to say, it's, let's just say, yeah, not exactly much of a Lucy Stillman debacle. And that's all I'm gonna say for now. But yeah, I mean, either way, like, I don't know, just odd quirks of voice acting, whatever-ish. And, that pretty much wraps it up on the trivia for Tangled. That's pretty much all I got right now. Yeah, I'm really just doing a bit of a round robin just to make sure that I don't miss out on any synthesis materials or any hidden secrets. Although I do miss out on hidden emblems, so heck waste. Nothing I can really do about it for now, but as I mentioned beforehand, we will be going back and we will be, you know, doing a cleanup video, so calm your nerves. Yeah, don't worry, we are getting close enough to a boss fight, so there is going to be some more exciting things as we do a slow walk off towards here. And Now, there is another thing I do also want to bring up, the fact that, again, you do return towards, you know, after the plot's been completed, and for those of you who are familiar with the Tangled plot and what happens right at the end, you might be wondering, how was Rapunzel going to be able to do all this? Oh, you son of a bitch, you slapped your butt at me. Well, I'll show you. Magical sparkles. But yeah, you might be wondering, how exactly is Rapunzel going to be doing all this fantastical stuff without her USP, for lack of a better phrase? Well, you'll just have to find out later. That being said though, speaking of party members, and I finally remembered something that I was going to be saying much earlier, yeah, we actually get 4 characters in our party slot right now. And again, they're also permanent, so you can have them all on screen at once. Once again, a testament to the power of the PlayStation 4! As we continue to utilize Splash ROM, which kind of makes the PS4 go into overdrive here, really, so, yeah, flowing water textures. Even the PS4 can barely handle its awesomeness. But the Dreamcast runs like a dream. But yeah, basically you pretty much defeat this little tower thing here, and well, again, as you're seeing right now, it splits off into different enemies and gets a horse body. It's the Heartless version of Maximus. But he's got an Exynos name. So does that mean that Maximus is a nobody? Well, probably not, but either way, yeah, this is pretty much our boss fight of the now. And it actually does become a regular enemy by the time you completed it, so, yeah, as we do another Rapunzel, spin your hair round and round, throw Sora and Donald and Goofy into the ground. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It does, you know, very much behave very much like a Matador, so again, it is pretty much going to charge you, so be sure to block and, you know, defend yourself to your heart's content, but otherwise, nothing to really worry about. It's going to gradually drop off a few of its, carriages here and there, and that's pretty much your way of defeating it. This is very much just sort of the boss version of, what eventually becomes a regular enemy here, so... Yeah, it's, it's nothing to really worry about. Then again, the horses really seem to be bothered much by Sora doing much of anything. It seems to be more annoyed than anything else, so it's just like, get off me, you little freak. Come on, let's do it. Unleash the power of Donald's attack! Oh, Arcanum, how I miss thee. There we go. Meteor strike! Ending attacks on a cinematic level. That's the way that makes me happy. And now we do get a rather useful addition to flow motion, the super jump, which basically lets you jump a little bit higher when you're climbing up walls, and yeah, I mean, it does help you get a little bit more distance with your flow motion, but as I mentioned beforehand, it's nowhere near as useful as it otherwise would have been in Dream Drop Distance, which was, you know, covering a little bit more distance. I have already said my piece on that, but again, I guess it was to make it at least a little bit less broken than what it otherwise would have been, you know, in previous games, but I don't know. There was something about the freedom of flow motion and Dream Drop Distance that just made me a smile. But yeah, basically what Goofy was talking about over there is that basically there are certain... Again, you pretty much already saw it in Olympus, but fuck, I might as well re-explain it now. Is that again, there are certain surfaces that you can basically destroy that end up glowing, and yeah, when Sora does a little swan dive off the cliff, you can pretty much attack that with your Keyblade, and, you know, with the laws of physics and momentum being what they are, jump down and smash to get the delicious, juicy presents on the inside. But he doesn't want to jump. He's afraid of heights. Although, then again, I think Sora entered the wrong franchise if he was going to be afraid of heights. There we go. But is this leading us to the darkness of the forest? Oh no, not particularly. We're actually right towards the end of the section here, so... Yeah, we do still have a few, one or two set pieces here and there where, you know, you can pretty much have your interact with Rapunzel and, you know, show this reclusive NEET how to have fun outside and go on a pretty date or whatever, but...
Wait, come back.
Oh, Chucky Dance, you scare the birds, and now pretty much comes a slightly tedious-ish segment where... Actually, are you forced to do this at any point? I've never not done this for Rapunzel just to make her day. You know, show her the wonders of outside, and, you know, then introducing her to the horrors of the outside that'll make her want to go back inside and never go out again to become a reclusive gamer nerd. For you see, you wanna know how I knew this? Because of course I knew this. She was me. But yeah, you pretty much have to creep in very closely, just, it doesn't matter if you go into the little pylon thing that you automatically, like, hop onto, but, yeah, just don't start running around, because otherwise you'll lose the birds, and then I think you're gonna do it over again. Then again, is this section even mandatory to begin with? I'm gonna say I don't think so, but I could be wrong on that, so, yeah, whatever. Just for the sake of making this nerd's day, just, gently, softly, catch a monkey. Or is it Catchy Monkey? Whatever, I can't remember that old TV show.
I've never seen a bird like you. Listen, they're singing for us.
Actually, did that change the music as well? Because, I mean, it still went for its whole doodly-doo, but it kind of changed because of the... Was that because of the birds, or was that just because of the area? I mean, if it was a dynamic music shift because of what we did, then, yeah, I think it must have been. Huh. Interesting. Sound dynamics in video games. Truly, these are one of the many perks of making things interactable entertainment. Donald, get out of the way, I'm trying to take a fucking photo. I need to take a picture of my friends. Stand still, woman. Turn around. Getting your fucking picture taken, turn around, damn it! Ugh. There we go, that's the ticket. Now pose. Beautiful darling.
Oh, am I supposed to smile?
You know what, I was gonna make a cunning remark about how, well, have you never seen a camera before, but otherwise, no, she hasn't seen a camera. And it actually does make sense given the time period, so, yeah. Damn you, Kingdom Hearts, and your attention to detail, making me not do the funny YouTube man. Anyway, this is pretty much the end of it. It's basically slip and slide. Now, I do think there is actually a segment where you can actually have Rapunzel roll down the hill like she did earlier on during one of the cutscenes, but, yeah, you know, getting all tangled up in her hair. Fitting, because it's tangled. Hello, just sing on. But yeah, I think I might have missed that out, so, whoopsie doodles. But in the meantime, though, we've pretty much ended everything here, really, and, yeah, again, you can flow motion back up the trees to get your way back, but, yeah, that's for traversal at a later date. In the meantime, though, I'm Solidus-Skully, keeping new metal, and next time on the Kingdom Hearts 3 commentary, well, we finally made it, and we'll get to explore the Kingdom of Beer. Catch you later.
I just knew the outside world would be full of amazing things. And you helped me find them. Thank you.